Yeah. So today we are going to start with the agentic frameworks, which is we already looked at N8N, which is no code version of it. Today we are going to look at what are the coding frameworks for agentic AI implementation. So basically, there are many agentic frameworks. We'll be covering OpenAI Agents SDK, CrewAI, and LangGraph, AutoGen, and MCP. Very high level to start with. Okay. Um, then we'll go into MCP in little deep, and then I will also show what are the courses uh, that we shared in the resources part, so that you guys can go back and look at it. Anybody has an opportunity to look at the Udemy courses or the agentic related courses in the resources that we shared so far? Just want to make sure who who can support me if there is anything. Okay, I'm taking that as no. So yeah, so I'm going to the next slide. So agentic, what exactly is this? The system that acts with an autonomy, it sets their own goals and solve complex problems. That is the idea of agentic. Uh, then yeah, we have here. So there are few things, right? One is setting and pursuing goals independently, planning a complex multi-steps actions, reasoning about the environment and adopting strategies, collaborating with human in the loop kind of thing, agents, and learning from experience and implementing it all the time. So basically, it is giving an autonomous thing for the AI capabilities, right? Then, yeah, look at what is agentic versus traditional agents. So traditional AI is more like a rule-based decision making, and then little adaptability to the new situations, minimal learning or no learning, we can say. And that is a traditional agents. If you look at any of the earlier bots, right, they could only do some things if there is uh, cannot handle the human interaction in natural language fashion. But anything that is already pre-coded, they can only respond to those things. That is the traditional AI. And agentic is more of a flexible, creative, and decision making. Have a broader capabilities in diverse domains. We'll see how this can be done. Continuous learning, and because LLM is coming into picture, and uh, we're leveraging those aspects in the agentic AI. Okay, so it's more of a reactive mode to proactive mode that it works. So coming to the core components of the agentic AI. So one, as we said, like autonomy is the one ability that it has. And also it has a memory, like what past interactions that it has done, and then uh, that it can store and then talk on it. And also it's a goal and goal directed behavior, means whatever you are talking, I think the way it has a goal to achieve. In planning and reasoning, it would plan, break down complex tasks, and take decisions uh, based on the next current situation. Okay. And then coming to the design patterns. So there are some of the things that we can look at. So again, planning driven architecture, multi-agent collaboration. We are not talking about a single agent, but there could be multiple agents collaborating and interacting with each other while we are doing it. And reflection and iteration means it's taking a feedback and then reflect on its own actions, and then uh, take necessary corrections required. Tool integration, again, agents, uh, like what we are seeing in ChatGPT and other things. So far, it can't search for some internal databases. It can't do certain things, right? Once you give the tools to it, it should be able to interact with the things that it is not trained on, and then should be able to access those APIs or databases, external resources. The high level design patterns and agentic AI. So this is one thing that would be interesting. While we are implementing these agentic frameworks, there are different um, uh, workflow design patterns. Okay. So, and the first one is the prompt chaining, means there is input given to it. It went to an LLM. There's one more thing that is uh, taken, and it goes to the next. It just goes step by step till the input to the output. It's called prompt chaining, where you clearly a sequential task that would be performed. Uh, Next thing is routing, where you have a different models. If you see it, see in the diagram, so we have different uh, models, and a prompt based on the prompt or the input, the LLM router can there's one design pattern, right? Based on what model it has to choose, what action it has to choose. This way, it would choose the next step, and then finally produces the output. That is the routing. And then there is a parallelization. And parallel processing, it's like the given task is broken down into multiple tasks. These are all things we know in development areas, right? But it is mostly hard coded and will do in a fashion. But here it will decide what are the things it can break, and then do the parallel activity. And then results would be joined, and then output is produced. Okay. There's one more thing, orchestrator. Orchestrator is like you have a lot of resources like LLM agents, and then this guy is more of a manager who is doing or orchestrating, right? Different uh, agents. So each LLM you can consider it as an agent. So multiple agents are there. Orchestrator is doing different things, and then finally aggregating and giving the output. I'm giving very high level just to give an overview. So that we can go into details, like while we implementing some of the use cases, we would know which one to use, what is the best design pattern to use. Okay. And the last one, but not the least, this is the evaluator optimizer. It goes like this. Most of the time, we see this kind of things is required where you generated something, it needs to be evaluated. And once it is not matched the expectation, it would be rejected and given along with the feedback. It would be done again, and yeah, till it meets our expectation. So that is the evaluator optimizer. There's one more pattern. So whenever we are implementing any of these agentic workflows, it would fall in uh, one of it, right? Yeah. So next, going to the next slide. Yeah, we covered the design patterns workflow. Now we'll go one by one onto the frameworks. Okay, the first one is OpenAI Agents SDK. Yeah, software development kit from OpenAI, right? So uh, this can be leveraged. We'll see some examples coming sessions, but it's more of a lightweight and flexible, minimal terminology, and then it has few commands that we'll use. If you really look at this, we'll import the OpenAI and API key. and you just create the client and then select the model prompt, the token. Very minimal things that would require while using the OpenAI agents SDK. Okay. And the next one is CrewAI. CrewAI is very popular for orchestrating things. It has a role-based system. We look at the code and task delegation and coordination between agents, workflow management. All these things are very well taken care as the CrewAI. We have few more within CrewAI, right? So there is an enterprise version, CrewAI Enterprise, multi-agent platform for deployment, tuning, and monitoring. CrewAI Studio, there's a kind of low-code, no-code thing that backend it uses the CrewAI and CrewAI open source. Most of the people who are here, right, will be exposed using the open source version of the CrewAI. And then CrewAI flows, again, is structured automation through precise operations. So few more the terms or the concepts we'll use in CrewAI is agent, task, and crew. This is how. So you will have you can create multiple agents. Each agent can be assigned a task, and then multiple agents can be clubbed into a crew so that they perform a bigger task. This is the crew part. So next framework is LangGraph. The name suggests that you guys might have already heard about LangChain, um, and LangGraph coming from the same company, but addressing some of these aspects, making it little easier for doing things. So it's based off graph-based execution, multi-turn memory, and advanced routing, and complex task handling. These are high level. So if you see here the text, building for stateful multi-agent branching workflow using LLM as nodes in a directory. So again, each LLM is coming as a node in this graph. Okay. So the next one is from Microsoft AutoGen framework. AutoGen is for building multi-agent conversational agent. It enables agents to collaborate through structured conversation. So there are two things that is possible with AutoGen is a standard mode and is a distributed mode. Uh, yeah. And coming to the AutoGen component, there is again a studio, low code, no code kind of thing. AutoGen agent chart is one component, and there is OpenCLI interfaces to interact with the AutoGen system. So this is little, the concepts would be little different when we are using AutoGen event-driven framework. We need to dig into each of these things. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. The whole framework itself will take one session. So we'll go deeper. This is just we'll touch basing on these aspects. And yeah, I was mentioning about the AutoGen core concepts, the models, messages, agents, and teams. So these are different components will be there. Key features is interaction between teams, specific uh, abstraction, and similar. This is similar to the LangGraph. If it is, if you have to compare AutoGen and look similar, coming from different companies. The other thing in multi-channel, sorry, okay, I need to adjust this one. Let me show you the model context protocol. This is the next. This is not a framework as such, but this is the standard by itself that is helping. This is more famous these days. Lot of adoption. So model context protocol is standardizing the context integration. We'll look at some of the one example in this because I thought this would be much easier to understand, and we'll dig into the other aspects in the next sessions. But I'll touch base with some of the courses that are relevant to this. So it's more of a standard that is coming from Anthropy. Okay, why MCP? Large language models have been largely isolated from real-time data tools, creating significant limitations for AI applications. Uh, yeah, all the frameworks, right? Agentic frameworks are trying to address the same thing, but MCP context protocol is more of a standard addressing the same topic. So let's say there are n by n integrations, right? And different AI models with m different data sources, right? That creates like exponential integration challenges. So how MCP is addressing that is the thing that we look at. So MCP is normally looked at as a USB-C for AI applications. There's a kind of plug and play that can simplified integrations, and it's kind of a universal standard that you can use. Okay, means you don't really need to look at the implementation details of these applications, but you should be able to interact with it if as long as you are following a certain standard. So coming to the next, the benefits of MCP. Uh, so rapid tool integration, model flexibility. We don't need to stick to a particular model, but same things can work with other models as well. Enhanced security. Uh, sensitive data remain within. I'll show one example, then you'll understand what we are talking about. In the uh, user infrastructure boundaries. So it executes within the user infrastructure boundaries, improving compliances, reducing data exposure risks. Right. Then autonomous workflows. Yeah, this is the basic foundation for these frameworks. Agentic frameworks.
So Zagar, one question on the
Yeah.
enhanced security. We had one when we were discussing in among our group. There was a
Right.
concern that like we have the typical Copilot, GitHub Copilot, where we have MCP servers can be enabled and be used. The question coming from the respective team who can enable that, they say that it is going to be a concern where once you open, you can have the multiple tools which can be accessed through this MCP server channel. But that also opens some security concern, which I'm not very clear. So, but yeah, just trying to understand that going to be a problem if we open by. I mean, I'm talking about in context of the GitHub Copilot. Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, maybe if we understand the little specifics of what they're talking about, maybe we can see how that can be addressed, right? Yeah. If you know more details, maybe we can look at that what specific thing. Maybe you can ask them back, saying that what exactly the problem. Maybe that way we get to know, and
because
then we can address. Yeah.
yeah, no, but what I heard or what we see is that there are a lot of MCP servers out there which you can access, and through that you
Use it.
can access the various tools and all. That's the
Correct.
concern. That is the concern because once you open, you are opening up your confined or maybe your own data specific thing which is going to be exposed, kind of a thing, is what the concern they raised. So just
Okay.
trying to
Let me show some. Yeah, for everybody to understand, right? Yeah, because you brought it up.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
show a couple of things that
Sure, sure,
would
sure.
help to understand how exactly MCP works. Just opening. Okay, so this is your computer, right? And we call it as a host. So there could be multiple clients, and then there is some component called MCP server. Again, it is within your server, means within your computer, means within your network. And then there is another way that works is you can also have a remote server using an SSE. I'll explain what it is. And there is also a possibility of accessing an API for a remote server. Now, when somebody's the whole idea of MCP server, the component, actually it is a component built and can should be executed within your environment. Means this is within your network. They have given, let's say, it's a kind. I'll go back it. But you have some features that you can leverage instead of you coding everything, right? This is component is in terms of it is not interacting with anything outside. You can cut the internet, even you should be able to work with these components. There's a kind of thing. Again, what MCP server component you are talking about GitHub, right?
Yes, yes. No, but I think
GitHub.
I could understand this because when your
Correct.
server is accessing your own tool or something in the intranet based tools, I think there should not be any concern with the security. I think your point in the earlier slide is valid. Yeah, I think I could connect with that. Yeah, could get that.
Yeah, because the advantage is you are leveraging somebody who did this server. The word server is a little bit confusing here, but that is the one thing that we need to know. It's not somewhere. In rare cases, it will be there running on a remote server. You will not be using someone's server for your purpose, but instead it will be deployed into your environment, and you are running and using a client. Means you see this MCP as a kind of web service, right? Multiple services one client can use. Now, that's how you need a client and a server. I'll show one example on that. Okay. So yeah, with that, I will go back to remaining parts of the thing. So the diagram, whatever I showed there, that is something to be the host, a application that needs access to the external. This is the MCP host is the AI application that we are talking about. It can be cloud desktop, IDE, or anything. Again, the client is something that is interacting with these servers. And then, yeah, your server is a lightweight program. This is what we are talking about, lightweight program that expose tools, data from the external systems to AI. Not just data, there are the prompts and few other things also would come. There are tools, there are some prompts also you can link to this. Okay, so it can happen in the communication happen between MCP's client and server in two ways. One is the standard IO, where within this diagram, right? This is standard IO, means you are within your own computer and you are using this. But if it is outside, means remote, then you are using something called server sent events, SSE. So there's something called it works as a streams kind of stuff. But otherwise, what are the capabilities we are looking at? We are looking at tools, resources, and prompts that comes with the server. You should be able to leverage and use when working with the MCP approach. Again, there's the same thing we are talking about this prompts. I will show one example because other things, there are courses I'll point out because it needs thorough hands-on. But MCP, I'll show one example. Initialization, I'll not. Yeah, I'll quickly go through and then show one example here. Initialization, capability discovery. Okay, what basically happens is um, when a server is available, a client can perform a handshake with the server to discover available capabilities. So it handshakes and finds out what tools are available. I can use for me to do my task. So that is the handshake that happens. which is called discovery, capability discovery. At initialization, everyone understand request processing. Uh, it's more of a tool usage or resource access through the structured client server calls within the conversion. It's obvious execution and response. So the execution happens and the response sent back to the uh, client with the standard error you are running on the same server. So there are certain things that you can implement: controlled access, you can implement authentication support, data sovereignty. Again, we have to double click on all these items to see how this can be achieved. But I'm touch basing on what is possible, and then we'll dig into these details. So why MCP is so popular means there are some early adapters like Block, Apollo, Jet, Replit, SourceGraph. These guys are adopted MCP uh, very early. Pre-built servers, lot of growing ecosystem is there. A lot of MCP servers, as Venkat was saying, right? There are already people built MCP servers of those components. Enhanced developer tools, development environment coding, assistant and coding. Again, this is also helping in for developers. The same approach is helping in implementing tools and other stuff using developer base. Yeah, just few real world use cases, right? AI coding assistants, context aware code generation, reduce trial and error, and supported environment. These are all the real world use cases. Uh, Enterprise knowledge access, connected to enterprise data, execute multi-step workflows. Again, these are theory where uh, okay. So traditional integration, we will be doing it through code required for each AI tool planning, one unified protocol for all integrations in MCP way. High development and maintenance overhead because yeah, traditional integration needs this thing. And MCP approach, we have a reusable servers for common data sources like uh, Google Drive. There is one common MCP that you can leverage, and like that you have for every data source already something that is implemented which you can leverage. Uh, yeah. So how it works? You install the pre-built servers, follow quick start guidelines, and test MCP perspectives. Right. So there is a way that you can inspect the MCP server. Mm, second, huh? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah. So we have a pre-built servers, follow quick start guidelines, yeah, and then test the MCP. I'll try to show this MCP inspector how we can use it. And one example, I'll show the actual example. Um, I'll get back to this. I'll show two things here. The code. MCP. Okay. I'll show. We are jumping. So, okay. So whatever we discussed, right? I, in the resources folder, we kept these things. One is complete agentic. So all this thing is available in this course, which we shared. There is one more course by Vijwara, which is again, this is free. This is some 350 or so. Deep learning also have a very good course on MCP. Um, this is the link here. I already kept it here. So one is this course. Somebody wants to don't want to wait for us to conduct the session, right? Or you can come go through these details and then we can discuss in visit sessions. I strongly recommend anybody is interested and want to do a hands-on, right? They can go through these two courses. And uh, yeah, this particular course by Ed has the GitHub also available. You don't really need to take the course, but if you can get this code directly from this URL. I think I can put this link as well within the resource sheet. But at a high level, right? As we can't touch base on each of these topics, what I highly recommend is going through these courses uh, and have come to a discussion whenever we are doing sessions on these topics, right? That will make sure that we are in line and understand these concepts much better. Okay, these are the two courses I would highly recommend. Yeah, with that, because anyway we'll go through those courses. I will on a high level I will show what we are doing here. I'll show one example, right? There is something called a research server. There is a MCP. So whatever the component we just looked at, like MCP client and MCP server. So I'm just trying to show how the code looks like, and then how it would be configured. Look at this. This is kind of a server for doing a research in the AutoGen. This is the repository, right? All the research papers will be there. So this server is specifically written, code is written for this to look for these papers. Okay, it's plain code of what do you say? So you are leveraging the packages, plain Python code, but leveraging the MCP as a protocol. You would make this function as a tool here, right? And then there are two tools. If you look at this, search papers is one thing. What it is basically doing is search for this paper based on a given topic and store that information. Okay. Arguments is this. So how the code is written, yeah, that code based on the requirement, right? You write the code. But how you are making this as a tool, this is how simply by putting this at the rate mcp.tool, this method itself becomes a tool for this. And now this is one such server. You can build many servers, and already there are many available. I'll show the websites also. And then when you are trying to use this server, so going back again to this diagram, right? Again, diagram from Ed. Um, so this is the server we are talking about. So research server is there. So the client wants to use some of the functionalities, uh, how it is using. So if you look at this MCP, right, it basically does the discovery of these. So connect to a server. So it has this connect to a server functionality. And then it looks for all those tools, not going line by line. But the thing is, idea is it looks for the tools, get all the tools information, and then act on it. So process query, I'll show this example, execute this and show you. But idea is this is the loop that goes. let's say from here we'll start, right? Chatbot for initializing and connect to the server. And then it looks, means you are basically giving this server to this guy, this client, and then works on the implementing cleanup. So any client or any server is developed in the similar fashion. There won't be much difference based on your need, right? If it needs to connect to your database, you will implement that part here. You need to connect to your drive, you will implement that way. But it gets exposed or used by the client. Here we are saying it is a chatbot. Let me run the chatbot and show you how it actually. I know for some of you it's too much, but this is only to give you a idea of what do you say, idea of what are all possible, and from there you can go back to the resources and look at the look at it yourself with this understanding, right? If you go back at that makes more sense. So I'm running this chatbot. It's a Python, and then again uh, you are leveraging UV for that package management and stuff. Again, UV is you should be knowing if you're working with Python for days, right? Yes. Um, give a couple of minutes. Uh, While it comes, anybody has any questions so far, whatever we discussed on MCP or Agentic?
So the one of the slide you were referring to the MCP host, is it nothing but the uh, that is a client or it is agent?
MCP host, this one, right? Or the in the
No,
slide?
the main slides what you were showing it now on
Okay.
the
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
One of the pages actually you're showing host to client or something.
While you are searching for that, I just have a simple question. So
Yeah.
MCP, you have mentioned that there is a gallery out there, and then there are pre-built servers in the form of
Server, correct.
that we can bring and
Correct.
then put it into our code so that we can get connected to any of the external tools to develop the intelligence within the AI agent that we are having. Now,
Correct.
the
Correct.
question is,
Mm.
let's say now if the teams are not that pro code teams, the ones that are developing this for us to make some
Mm.
internal operations automated or agentic operations to get that done. Is there a
Right.
UI
Mm.
facility to select certain, let's say now there is a service desk plus or maybe service now,
Mm.
any of the ITSM
Mm.
tools, our people wanted to get connected through an agent, maybe in M365 Copilot agent, or maybe from the GitHub Copilot agent, any of these agents, if
Mm.
they would like to get connected. So is there a UI
Correct.
facility wherein I can simply select the drop down of the existing servers that are there and then supply some information, maybe the personal access tokens, or maybe the username password, or maybe service hook
Yeah.
URL, or whichever it asks for, give that and then supply and then get connected. Is there a easy way like that?
I'll show what is currently I'm looking at, or there should be possible. If you really look at I'm looking at the cloud desktop. So
Okay.
right now, even in ChatGPT, right, there is something
Mhm.
called tools. Now these tools
Okay.
are coming from the MCP. Let's say fetch and file system, right? I can
Mhm.
add more tools. Also, it would be a similar fashion. We just need to understand how it is configured and what is the way to integrate.
Great. Yeah.
Um, Yeah. So if you really look at the developer thing, right, there are two things that are already configured. I can edit the configuration more of a JSON. I'll show the JSON as well. I think it's already open somewhere. Yeah, I think cloud test. Yep. So if you look at this, the MCP servers, we are talking about file system, and then this is the file system, and then there is a fetch. Okay, I had some problem integrating with research because of some environment issue, but otherwise you are seeing these two, file system and fetch. Now it's as easy as editing this configuration, and then you should be able to prompt and work with that. Okay. If anybody is into
yeah. So on GitHub Copilot, at least, in fact, we are trying it. What I see is that there is this bunch of servers are going to be already available. All you have to do
available
that.
from GitHub.
Yeah. You have only thing is that it needs to be the MCP server. Some option needs to be enabled. Once it is enabled, you can access the servers which are out there, which is there in the kind of a catalog kind of a thing. You can choose, and then the way you're shown some script, right, JSON script or something, that it automatically builds, and then it is shows that yeah, I think you have the Jira server or maybe any configuration management servers which you can access actually. Yeah, that kind of a thing is already there in GitHub Copilot. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
Thanks.
server developers, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
yeah, there's more of a configuration. Yeah, it just exposes it like this. It can be developed in any language or anything, right? Yeah, yeah, it's just a matter of understanding this piece, and then configuration is one. Yeah,
I have one other the question,
yeah,
the
yeah.
one which
Good.
previously
Mm.
you showed
Mm.
some MCPs. So it was built for some specific tool or something like the one, or it is. I mean, it's
This one,
been no, that script, something, your Python script what you showed, that was built by
yeah,
your somebody from, no, not this one. There's a Python script which you showed, that is a, a
yeah, this
specific.
one. Yeah, this I took from this example. I want to show by this guy, Anthropy. So
Okay.
this example, I took example from here, this
Okay.
course,
Okay.
just to
No.
show, because there are complex examples. I don't want to scare everybody with that.
Yeah.
But there's very simple example just to understand how easy it is. There's only two parts, right? If you see research and this thing, and then a configuration. There's nothing more than that. And if, yeah, I'll show like how it is working. Now, the client executed and it's connected to the research tools, search paper and extract info. And there is one more tool also, it is available. Now, it is asking, so because it is more of a research paper searching thing, so I can say search for what do you say, quantum physics or okay. So yeah, basically it called that server, and then trying to identify those papers that are related to quantum physics. Now we stop it for 5 papers, and it will also show the. So basically, what it does is searching paper, extracting the information. If you really see this, uh, in quantum physics, this paper is written by somebody like this, and then these are the things, high level summary it is giving. Now it's up to you, like what you want to integrate. But the idea is simply there are some tools that are available to the client now, and then you can integrate. It is developed as a chart, but you can integrate with some other applications, right, in similar fashion. Um, and it can also save. I think it has the fetch and extract. Okay, it has some more file system also, right? Right, read file. So write to file also it's available as a tool for this. So I can say save in file. Yes, SQLite. Yeah. Right. So yeah, maybe you need to give. This is not memory is not implemented, so I just need to give this information. But yeah, let me show you how. Quantum computing, quantum physics. Basically, this. That's not right. Yeah. So it has this ability to write to the file also. It is basically using those what do you say, those tools to be able to write. So you are not implemented writing to a file in your client application. The client application has a tool available and it is written to the file. Um, this information. You can also get other information and write to the file. The idea is, yeah, once you have the tools available, the application or the client, right? Any client application should be able to leverage those tools. That's it. That is the idea. Okay, I think theoretically we looked at it. The point I want to mention here is I know this is very high level and then mm, just to touch base what it is, right? It's not exhaustive thing that plan here. Mm, yeah. Let's talk if you have any questions. So next point is right for everybody as I showing those resources. That's the next step. Anybody serious and want to go into this, explore this more, go to those resources. The Udemy course and the other course, deeplearning.ai course that I mentioned. Go through it and maybe we can uh, do a deep dive on each of these frameworks and even MCP implementing some business use case, right? Like the service desk use case somebody was talking about, we can implement. Let me know if there is any questions or anything, or how to approach. I kind of explained like what are the next steps for us who is learning and is serious about this, because everybody attending on Saturday at this time, I would say you guys, everybody is interested in this topic and want to dig deep, right? Yeah.
It's not a question, Sudhakar. I think it's helped in understanding. One thing is that this session, when I could see that MCP servers also can be built on our own rather than depending on the third-party MCPs, which are been built by the respective tools or respective teams. So we can build on our own and then we can use them.
Correct.
That's what I could
Yeah,
see.
even
That.
take their code and then if there is any sensitive issues there, right there, we can modify or create from scratch also.
Yeah.
It is all vibe tooling and Windsor, Claude, coding all there, right? We can leverage those tools to get these servers or code created very fast. That's one more thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else are reached the stage where looking at MCP or some POC stage in your organizations? Anybody else? I know Venkat already did,
No,
and
actually,
maybe Ravinder.
we are struggling because we are not open for that gate of MCP servers. Organization is to some restrictions. So now,
Right.
listening to this session, I feel maybe I'll do it myself, or maybe my team will do it.
Correct.
And that may be the another approach rather than waiting, because they see that it is you are opening the floodgates of MCP servers, bunch of MCP servers, which they don't
Right.
want it to, create some kind of security concern or something. So yeah.
Right. And unless you, maybe the people who involved, right, unless they see what is the possibilities here, they may have all this kind of concerns. But yeah, if you do some POC around around some of the stuff you're working, maybe that will give them a one one use case that yeah, this is possible and can address security things. I'll try to see if I can bring some security aspect into it and show in future sessions so that I know that is one of the
True.
primary concern, right? If you talk about AI, everybody talks about security, guardrails, and everything comes into picture. But yeah, any other questions, guys? But yeah, for anybody joined here, this is not the end. I think you guys need to go through the courses and then come up with the for a workshop. I'm planning to do a workshop kind of session. There are more participants willing to do so that we do coding together and then implement something on any of the frameworks. Maybe you can start with MCP and then LangGraph. LangGraph has that memory kind of statefulness thing. There is few examples that we can implement, right? Yeah, let me know. I'll do a poll kind of thing to see who are all want to work because I don't want this time to be used for the workshop kind of session, but we'll do it some other day, maybe in the evening time, where it works for everybody. Okay. Anything, team? I know we are wrapping up early, but the time is for you to go through those videos and courses.
Sir, one question. Can you tell in simple words what's the objective of MCP, sir? What are we trying to achieve, sir, with MCP?
So Agentic, so you are implementing that N8N, right?
Yeah.
So with N8N, there is certain things. You are manually configuring certain things. And there are somebody who are giving you those tools and the things. Now, with if you look at the MCP, it's not just tools, it gives resources and also even a prompt. So somebody already implemented that kind of thing. What you are achieving in N8N, the resources are prompts, existing things that you are leveraging. The
Okay.
cases where you're not you want to use the agentic code approach, right? Not the no code approach.
Mm.
You'll be leveraging these frameworks and these standards. MCP is more like a standard, which is not limiting. You can use the LangGraph, LangChain, those as well along with MCP. So it's not limiting you to a particular thing. And it's, I would say, programming agnostic, I can say.
Can
Sir,
we understand, Sudhakar, like it's like a REST protocol. REST protocol means you will like suppose if you take the HTTP protocol, it will have header, body, and those things. It is also something like that MCP, so that everyone can easily understand the format and they can just blindly consume the
Follow.
messages.
so it is like an API which will give instructions and manage, give context to agents and all those things, sir.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we are mixing few words, but yeah, it's similar to that, right? If there is a standard, that's the reason we are talking about comparing it with the USB-C,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. So all
So it's
mobiles,
just a
if they give us that particular port, then only we can use that adapter, right? This
Yes, sir.
kind of thing, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Understood.
So yeah, so this being adopted widely, standard coming from Entropy. It's more of what we are talking about HTTP, HTTPS things, right? Uh, for you it is very basic standard, but the thing is the adoption, the way easier way that people are it makes things easy, right, to implement and follow. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, I have seen one use case, sir, on the Gen AI course. So they are connecting
Hmm.
Zero the Kite app to Claude AI, and he's
Correct.
giving a prompt. to the cloud saying that find the in his portfolio which stocks are performing well and which are not doing well, and the for ones that are not doing well, right, go on Google and research why these are not doing well and let me know if I should sell anything. So I was wondering how
Mm.
it is able to give that information.
Yeah, Zero the Kite. So it gave the basic server, means it has all the, even you can do a buy and sell order placement, and you can change the stop loss kind of. You have all the methods. Whatever we are saying here, the extract fetch thing, right? So Zero the Kite, if you install that particular thing, it gives plenty of tools, which are obviously nothing but methods, but
Mm,
it needs a authentication, right? It also has a login authentication, and
yeah.
now it takes the credentials. It won't take it from the cloud, but it
So no,
pops up
sir.
the web
Cloud gives you
UI.
the pop-up, sir, for the login.
Correct. For
Yeah.
the login. Yeah, I experimented with that, so I know how it works. It's the same concept. That is the flexibility, right? Once you have that MCP server kind of thing, everybody implementing, instead of you looking at your dashboard and seeing performance, you just chart it. Maybe in future you will also talk to it and say, should I stay here, move the stop loss, place this order, kind of stuff. You can talk to the Claude or ChatGPT or even your own bot to easily integrate. You don't really need to implement all the login APIs and all things, right? It's
Okay.
already there. Somebody has already tested for you, and now you just use it. That is the USB-C plug and play.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Correct.
So
Thanks for
Sudhakar,
bringing that example. I think. Yeah, Prasad.
Sudhakar, Prasad here. Sudhakar, one question. Agentic AI, right?
Yeah.
It kind of sends messages to different servers to execute the task, which is a higher level task. Correct, Sudhakar? Or
Yeah,
different
it
agents
depends
work
upon the
on
task, right? Yeah, I was showing those workflow patterns. If you remember that. So based on the task, it will decide uh, what action it has to take. So it is kind
the.
of you have a set of tools that are available and set of resources you are accessible.
Okay,
Now,
Sudhakar. Then how does it roll back,
yeah.
Sudhakar? If one of the tasks is going wrong, how does it roll back,
Mm.
Sudhakar? How does it roll back?
Now, rollback, if you're talking in terms of database or anything, right? One thing is we should have the rollback tool, right? As
Okay.
simple as that. Yeah, if you did something you don't want to commit it, make sure you call for that. If the tool is
Okay.
not available, maybe you have to build it. Certain things can't be rolled back. Let me tell you this example, the zeros example, right? Place order. Once it place order, you can't roll it back. You have to close the order. Simple. Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it
Okay.
depends upon, yeah, it depends upon those tools and the context that we have. Yep.
Thank you, Sudhakar.
Yeah. Sure. Any other questions or anything, guys, before we close? No questions on this topic. There are few announcements. One is we are bringing some guests, not on the technical topics, but just to give a orientation on what is the power of AI, how industry and the people in the industry should be using it. Uh, Mostly we'll get this person next week, next Saturday. So there won't be any technical session, but this will be more of a mindset session just to see how powerful AI is and where we can leverage. There is uh, one thing that you guys should attend, should not miss, as and when we schedule with that guest. Also, we are planning for a few more sessions in similar way. We'll do this technical sessions. Will anyway will be there. Me and Srini will be conducting, but otherwise, the guest lectures don't miss it because they bring a different perspective altogether, right? So with that, there is one more thing. If anybody in the group, I see Venkat, Prasad, whoever is there, right? If you have a topic to talk, and come forward and tell the topic, and we will have your session also in similar fashion. But yeah, we'll review it before. Then you'll do one guest lecture. Even anybody not an experienced people, right? If you explored something and you want to share, those also welcome in these sessions. Okay, so with that, yeah, thanks everyone. I see a few new guys joined. Can you guys introduce yourself? Maybe we have some time. Anybody who joined for the first time want to talk and say who you are and how useful it is for the sessions?
Hey, Anil here. So just joined today. So I see like
Yeah,
I am just started learning related to AI, and I see like a lot of like good quick info, and you already did like research, right? What to do, like how to learn this. So I guess this will be helpful.
sure, Anil. Yeah. Also, we have the YouTube channel. If you haven't looked at it, all old sessions are already there, and recorded sessions are there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
those are lengthy sessions, 1.5 hour minimum. But yeah, that will give you some more background of these things if you haven't gone through them,
Sure. I have gone through
specifically
one of the
NI10.
video. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, those are
Okay,
quite useful. So yeah,
sure. And Anil, from where are you? So, what is your
I am from
experience and what?
Hyderabad
Uh-huh.
and work in semiconductor industry.
Very good. Okay,
And the experience is like 18
interested
plus
in
years. Yeah,
very nice. Maybe you can bring one use case for us and talk on it. How AI
sure,
can change that. Yeah,
sure, sure.
very good.
Once I am ready, like yeah, probably I will give one.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks. That would be great. Who else? I see. I was seeing few more new guys where they got dropped out. Dheeraj, I think seeing you for the first time, maybe.
Yeah, Sudhakar, Rajesh
Rajesh.
here.
Rajesh. Yes.
I'm joining for the first time today.
Right.
Basically, I am working in the smart metering domain and trying to
Oh,
get introduced
okay.
myself to all this Gen AI stuff.
Nice. Smart metering, I think there are a lot of use cases and things we can automate, right? I think, yeah, that is the thing. Very
Right.
good, Rajesh. So,
Right.
good. So, you have a lot of experience in this industry?
Yes, sir. I have been in this industry for a little more than 25 years
Great.
and
Good.
based out of Hyderabad at the moment.
Very good. Yeah, okay. Sure. Great to know that. And yeah, some use cases I think we should talk uh, from your domain.
Yeah,
Nice.
we are on that task only. We are trying to identify certain use cases and how to leverage this power of Gen AI in our
Sure.
domain. Basically.
Yeah, if you are doing a brainstorming, let us know if you want us to participate anywhere, right? Me, Srini, we can have a Zoom call and then discuss what
Sure,
you are going through. And we also have some use cases ready. We can discuss on those.
sure, Sudhakar. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Who else is new here? Joined for the first time. Anybody else who want to? Yeah. Okay, I think we're all good, right?